Alright, Matchday 6, Game Week 6 in the Premier League is ready to get going. It starts this Saturday lunchtime and it ends on Monday night. So let's have a look at the 5 matches that I'm going to be looking out for this weekend in the Premier League. A little preview for you guys, as usual, here on the Football Chronicle. So let's start with the lunchtime kickoff on Saturday. Newcastle United against Manchester City. Newcastle were unbeaten in the league until they lost against Fulham last weekend. Man City coming off a very controversial title battle game against Arsenal last weekend, and of course they will be without Rodri. This is a particularly tricky game for Manchester City for sure, but I can't remember the last time they actually lost to Newcastle. It's been a very, very long time, and you know what, honestly, I'm going to sit on the fence with this one. Newcastle haven't been that amazing this season. They have had some good results, but they've been more grinding them out. I'm going to go with a draw with this one. I'm going to go with Man City to drop a few points here, and it'll open up the title battle even more than what last weekend did. I'm going to go for an entertaining one though. I'm going to go with 2-2 in this match. Next up, one of the Saturday 3 o'clock games, Chelsea against Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, I did a video earlier this week saying that Chelsea are actually having quietly having a good season this season so far, but they were going to face a stern test against a Brighton side that are unbeaten so far this season. Although home draws against Nottingham Forest and Ipswich, not the best results, but Chelsea at the same time, they've only been they got a good win against West Ham at the weekend, of course, but they are winless at home so far in the Premier League. So which way is this going to go? Well, I'm going to sit on the fence. I think it's quite comfy up here, guys. I'm getting comfortable on this fence. I'm going to go with another draw. I'm going to go with 1-1 in this game for a draw between Brighton and Chelsea. Next up, we've got what I would describe personally as a relegation 6-pointer. Everton against Crystal Palace. Obviously, Everton winless so far this season. So are Palace as well, although 3 draws keeps Palace above the dreaded dotted line. Everton, they're going to get took over by this Friedkin group, which is going to help them, but in the short term, they are really, really struggling. And, Crystal Palace, they have some really exciting players that are very dangerous on the break, the likes of Mateta, the likes of Eze. I think they're going to be a real danger in this one, and I think they're going to be too much for Everton to handle. I'm going to go with 2-0 to Palace on this one, just to heap a bit more misery onto Goodison Park, as if it needs it, really. Next up, I am going to go, there's a few interesting games here, but I'm going to go with one of the Sunday games next. I'm going to go with a Sunday 2 o'clock game, Ipswich Town against Aston Villa. Aston Villa scraping through to the next round of the Carabao Cup in midweek. Ipswich, meanwhile, they've had a bit more of a rest compared to Villa. Of course, I think they got knocked out by Wimbledon earlier in the EFL Cup campaign. Ipswich so far this season are, of course, winless, but they have had some decent results against the likes of Brighton in particular. On top of that as well, I think there's a real togetherness about the squad, but will they have enough to get their first win of the season? Well, I think Villa have just got too much for them. Villa are having a very good season so far this season. They have seriously impressed me. They are up in 3rd place in the Premier League. They're ahead of Arsenal. They're only behind Man City and Liverpool. So I'm going to go with Villa to win this one. I'm going to go with a 2-0 victory for the Villains in this one. I think it'd be a relatively comfortable game. Ipswich, I think they'll have enough to get out of this relegation scrap eventually. It's going to be tight for them, don't get me wrong, but I think they'll have enough. But this is not going to be their first win of the season. I just don't see it against Villa. Villa are just too good. Next up, 2 sides that were in the Europa League action this week just gone. Manchester United against Tottenham. Man United drawing against FC Twente. Really disappointing game for them. Tottenham really escaping what could have been a very awkward game against Karabag, where they played almost the entire match with 10 men, but did run out 3-0 winners. Their rest time will be less. They also have to travel up to Manchester. Will this be a decisive factor in the result of this game? Again, I am going to sit on the fence, guys. I am sorry. I am going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for an entertaining one. I'm going to go for 2-2. Man United look a bit disjointed at the moment. Tottenham still have a bit of defensive frailty in there. I think it wouldn't surprise me if Spurs win this one. It wouldn't surprise me if Man United win this one. I can see any kind of result with this one, but I'm going to go down the middle. I'm going to go with a draw in this one. So yeah, those are the 5 matches that I'm looking out for in Game Week 6 of the Premier League season in 2024-25. Which matches are you looking out for this weekend? Which is going to be the big surprise result for you? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, keep it subscribed to thefootballchronicle.com to see much more football action, reviews, opinions, analysis, and everything between right here. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the bell as well to see much more football content here on thefootballchronicle.com.